Hey, welcome to Key Skill 3. Now we're going to look at some of the more tricky questions that will come at the end of the AS exam, where you have things like straight lines intersecting with curves or in this case, 1 over x graphs. You can see here, you're trying to find the 2 points of intersections. So I'm going to look at how you would deal with this part of the question here. Find the points of intersection of 2 graphs. What you want to do is you want to take your 2 equations here. And there's 2 methods for this. You can either substitute them in, or you can let them equal to each other. Now in this situation, because they're both y equals 2 and y equals 2, it's really easy to say y is the same as y, so this y, 3 over x, must be the same as this y, 4 minus x, at the point in which they intersect. So when those 2 graphs cross over, they must have the same x and the same y, that's why they cross over. So we're saying the y coordinate from this graph will be the same as the y coordinate from this graph at the point of intersection where they cross over. Now you want to get rid of the fraction situation here, that's always really annoying. So what you do is you turn the divide by x, which is currently here, into a times by x on the other side. So that'd be 4 minus x. So you multiply out the bracket and you've got the beginning of a quadratic equation. I'm going to bring the x squared and the 4x, or the minus x squared and the 4x to this side because I like to keep the x squared positive. Now, when the plus 4x comes over, it's going to be minus 4, and there's already a plus 3 here. So we need to factorize for multiplying for 3, which can only be 3 and 1, or minus 3 and minus 1. And I've chosen minus 3 and minus 1 because when I add them together, minus 3 added with minus 1, I get the minus 4 here. That means my 2 x values are 3 and 1. Now I need to go back and find the y coordinate as well. And the y coordinate here, you could substitute into either of these two. I think it's probably easier to substitute here into y equals 4 minus x. So y equals 4 minus x, y equals to 4 minus 3, y equals to 1. And here y equals to 4 minus 1, y equals to 3. So the 2 points of intersection, you're going to mark these very clearly in your graph, are going to be 3, 1. And they're going to be 1, 3. Now to draw these graphs, for example, a 1 over x graph or a straight line, is something that you're going to learn about in a later section. But you can see here on this graph, I've clearly marked in 1, 3, that was my first point of intersection, and 3, 1. And they need to be visible on your graph. Let's have a look at another question similar. Graphing y equals 11x and y equals x cubed minus 25x. Label the asymptotes and intercepts. Finds the points of intersection. So in this section, we're only going to be looking at this part, find the points of intersection. So we take our 2 graphs and we let them equal to each other. So 11x should equal to x cubed minus 25x. So I'm going to bring everything to one side. This isn't a quadratic anymore. This is a cubic graph. If you're getting stuck here, if you're not sure how to deal with this type of situation, you need to go back and look at key skill 1 from indices. So I'm going to say minus 25 minus 11 is minus 36x. To keep going, I'm going to factor out the x. I'm going to have x squared minus 36. This is a special factorization here because you have 36 is a square number, so x squared minus 6 squared. And then you have this special rule for factorizing when you have 2 squared numbers called the difference of 2 squares. So now, because we had a cubic, we have 3 points of intersection. We have x equals to 0, x equals to 6, and x equals to minus 6. Now, I'm going to use this y equation just because it's easier. to substitute those values in. If x is 0, 11 times 0 will be 0. So that will be the first point, 0, 0. If x is 6, y will be 11 times 6, which will be 66. So 6 comma 66. And if x is minus 6, y will be 11 times minus 6, so minus 66. So minus 6 minus 66. So these 3 points would need to be clearly labelled on your diagram. Okay. I'm going to see you guys in Key Skill 4. Make sure that you've done all of your past exam questions and your Key Skill quiz. Bye for now.